On Veterans Day, how President-elect Biden plans for the Pentagon differs from Trump. The Pentagon under President-elect Joe Biden will face the same threats as it has under the Trump administration, but will likely approach them in different way, analysts say. The Pentagon's massively $700 billion budget is unlikely to take deep cuts given those threats. They say clear breaks with Trump's approach to the military, however, are likely on social issues. Trump's defense strategy, authored in large part by former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, views China and Russia as the nation's principal adversaries with lesser threats posed by Iran, North Korea, and terrorist groups. That view of aggressors, referred to in some military circles as the 4+1 threat matrix, is unlikely to change on Biden's watch. In fact, it has its original in later Obama thinking, said Michael O'Hanlon, a defense analyst at the Brookings Institution. The 4+1 threat matrix in brief. China is expected to continue to build its military and assert its influence in the Pacific made plans by its fortification of man-made islands in the South China Sea over the last decade. US forces in turn seal worship and fly war plans in the region to reassure allies and show American commitment to the free flow of trade in the region. Russia's meddling in elections in the United States and its allies, its development of advanced weapons, and support for Bashar Assad in Syria continue to cause friction between the former Cold War enemies and nuclear powers. Meanwhile, North Korea continues to build its arsenal of ballistic missiles and retain its nuclear capability that could threaten the continental United States. In January, the US and Iranian military exchanged attacks. An American drone killed Qasem Soleimani, a top general, and Iran responded with a missile attack on a US base in Iraq, wounding 100 troops. Terrorist groups, as they have since the 9/11 attacks, demand worldwide attention from military from Africa through the Middle East. Lauren Thompson, a military analyst at the Lexington Institute, expects the Biden administration to continue to focus on those adversaries but seek more help from traditional NATO allies, which Trump has denied credit for not spending more on their defense budgets. Biden is also more apt to seek military solutions like the attack on Soleimani. He believes strongly in collective security and he believes in the stability that limits on weapons, especially nuclear weapons, can foster. Thompson said Biden is unlikely to sustain the level of intensity in relations with China and Iran that we have seen under Trump's. He will tool down the rhetoric and look for diplomatic solution to confrontation. China will remain a focus of concern, but US policy will likely shift more towards economic measures and away from military competition.